The city slept under the rain that night, but the top floor of Vale Enterprises still glowed faintly through the glass walls. Inside, Ethan Vale, the billionaire CEO everyone feared and admired, sat in silence. The rain streaked down the windows like tears he no longer allowed himself to shed. He hadn't smiled in years. Not since the night he lost his wife. He had built an empire out of pain. Power had become his armor, loneliness his only companion. But that night, something inside him stirred. He wanted to test if there was still humanity left around him. If anyone in his company, built on profit and precision, could still care when no one was watching. So, he decided to fake a nap. He leaned back on the leather couch in his office, eyes half closed, body still. He looked asleep, but his mind was sharp, waiting. The room was dim, the air humming softly with the sound of rain. At 1 a.m., the janitor's shift began. Daniel, a middle-aged man with quiet eyes and a tired soul, entered the room pushing his cleaning cart. His steps were slow but gentle, his hands rough from years of work. To most, he was invisible. But tonight, he was about to change a billionaire's life. Daniel stopped when he saw Ethan lying on the couch. For a second, he thought about skipping the room, not wanting to disturb his sleeping boss. But then he noticed something, the CEO's coat, lying neatly folded on the desk. He hesitated, then walked closer. In the dim light, Daniel picked up the coat carefully. His rough fingers trembled as he placed it gently over Ethan's shoulders. His voice came out in a soft whisper, barely audible beneath the rain. "No one deserves to be cold, not even you." Ethan's chest tightened. Something about that whisper, the quiet care, the sincerity, pierced through the walls he had built. He wanted to open his eyes, to speak, but something told him to stay still. Daniel sighed and continued cleaning. Then, when he thought no one was watching, he took a small photo from his pocket. Ethan, half pretending, half awake, caught a glimpse of it, a little boy, grinning wide, his arms wrapped around Daniel's neck. The janitor looked at the picture for a long time before whispering again, voice trembling, "I hope you're proud of me, son." Ethan's heart broke. That pain, he knew it. The kind that doesn't fade, only buries itself deeper. He waited until Daniel left, but sleep never came to him that night. The next morning, before sunrise, Ethan walked down to the basement where the cleaning staff worked. Everyone froze when they saw him. The CEO never came down there. Daniel quickly stood up, wiping his hands. "Sir. I'm sorry if I..." Ethan raised his hand. "Don't be sorry." His voice was softer than it had been in years. "You covered me with my coat last night." Daniel froze. "I didn't mean to overstep, sir. You just looked cold." Ethan smiled faintly. "You didn't overstep. You reminded me what warmth feels like." There was a silence between them, heavy, human, and full of understanding. Then Ethan asked, "The boy in your picture, your son?" Daniel's eyes dimmed. "Yes. His name was Ryan. He passed 3 years ago. Car accident. He wanted to make people feel safe, wanted to protect others. I couldn't save him, but I can still try to make the world kinder, even if it's one small act at a time." Ethan felt his throat tighten. For the first time in years, he didn't see a janitor standing before him. He saw a man carrying the same pain, the same love, and still choosing kindness. That day changed everything. Ethan began to walk the halls differently. He no longer rushed past the people who worked for him. He learned their names, asked about their families, their struggles. He created scholarships for workers' children, started late-shift care programs, and quietly covered medical expenses for those in need, never signing his name on any of it. But the biggest change was within him. The man who once pretended to sleep to test someone's heart now stayed awake to listen. Months later, one rainy night much like the first, Daniel was finishing his shift. He found Ethan standing by the same window, staring out at the city. "You're still here, sir?" Daniel said, smiling gently. Ethan turned, a soft smile on his face. "Not staying late. Just remembering that kindness doesn't need a title." Daniel chuckled. "And I guess you finally stopped testing people?" Ethan laughed quietly. "No. I stopped doubting them." They walked out together that night under one umbrella, a billionaire and a janitor, bound not by status, but by shared pain and quiet healing. And as the rain fell again, Ethan realized something profound. Sometimes, a whisper of compassion can wake the deepest parts of a broken soul. He couldn't save his wife, but because of one janitor's whisper, he promised himself he would never let anyone feel alone again.